Hello and what's going on, guys? This is Zombies here, and I'm back today for my second Redstone video, taking you from a Redstone noob to a Redstone master. And today we're going to be talking about torch towers and Redstone vertical travel, as well as horizontal travel with slabs. We're also going to be talking about logic gates, pistons, monostable circuits, and T-flip flops. And if you're interested in any of those things, then please continue to watch the rest of this video. When we talk about redstone travel vertically. Now, there's several ways in doing this, but our old method was basically make redstone travel up in a straight line of blocks and just keep stacking up the blocks higher and higher and placing a redstone on top of them, or putting them in spirals like this, which used up a lot of blocks and a lot of redstone. However, thanks to these wonderful things, these redstone torches, you can now make redstone signal travel up in a 1 by 1 block area, and it doesn't use as many bricks, which is really nice too. And as I talked about in the first video, a torch over here, as you can see, powers all the redstone around it, and it powers the block above it, and this means it can also turn torches off, which is very useful. Now, as you can see here, what this circuit is doing is this redstone torch is always naturally on, which is powering this block, which means because this block is being powered, this torch turns off, which means this block isn't being powered, which means you get a redstone output. However, if you inverse the signal and you put power into a block via a lever or button or whatever you choose, then this torch turns off, which doesn't power this block, which means this torch is on, which means it powers this block, which means the redstone torch turns off, which means you don't get an output. And these things are very useful. Now, another great thing about redstone is it can be vertically travelled by half slabs, which means you don't need torches, and as you can see, the redstone signal travels up very nicely without having to use whole blocks and also pull it in a spiral pattern like this. However, redstone signal does not travel downwards on half slab blocks, so as you can see here on this one, the redstone will travel up but not back down. But as you can see, this circuit is turned on and this one is, but this one doesn't, because redstone does not travel downwards from half slabs. Now this circuit is to show that a redstone signal will not appear there if there's a whole block, but if there's a half slab then the circuit can run underneath. In this segment of the video I am going to be talking about logic gates, and they're very useful and commonly used in Minecraft circuits, and these are the three most basic ones. We've got the NOT gate, the AND gate, and an OR gate. Now what the OR gate does is if input 1 or 2 is on, then output will be changed. Now an AND gate means that if you have both of the inputs off, then you'll get an output. However, if you just have one or both of the inputs on, then you'll get no output. The final one is the NOT gate, which basically it does the opposite. So when the input is off, you get an output, and when the input is on, then you don't get an output, as you can see here. However, without this basic mechanic, a lot of redstone circuits wouldn't work, and therefore Minecraft Redstone would be very tricky. Part of the video I'm going to be showing you how to power pistons are some of the easiest ways to do so. Now just by placing one redstone dust on top of a block with a lever, you can toggle two pistons on and off at once, which is very useful if you're making simple Minecraft doors like the jet door, which I might show in a later video. Another way of stacking pistons and activating them all at the same time is by using a torch tower, as I showed over there, where you alternate the torches from here to this side, and then you keep on repeating the pattern, which means that even though the next set of 2 pistons will be delayed, that you can extend this practically forever, and therefore it's good for if you want to make giant towers and massive builds in general, really. In the last part of this video, I'm going to be going over monostable circuits, T flip-flops, and why they're useful. And monostable circuit is very useful. These two are monostable circuits, and they're useful for giving out short pulses for redstone circuits, which without these, shortening pulses used to be very hard to do, and therefore these things are a dream come true. Now to make these, all you need is a redstone button, so a stone button right here, a repeater, a sticky piston and a block on top, and then a redstone repeater for the output. Now once you turn this button on, what happens is it activates this repeater, which turns on this piston and moves the block up, but as there's a 0.1 second delay, for the first 0.1 seconds you get an output, and then the block is lifted, and then the piston is deactivated 0.1 seconds after the redstone signal is turned off from this repeater, which means you only get a 1 tick pulse out at the start. This second monostable circuit does the same thing, except it gives the redstone signal out at the end of the redstone input. So you flick this button on, and what happens is this torch will turn off, which will pull this piston down when it'll take the block with it, and then on the final 0.1 seconds, or the final tick of the actual redstone signal, you'll get an output. So if I flick this button, as you just saw there, you got a really short redstone pulse at the end. So if you want a really short pulse but at the end of your redstone signal, then use this one. If you want a short redstone pulse at the beginning of your redstone input, then use that one. Now these circuits combine not only monostable circuits but T flip-flops together to turn a short redstone pulse into an everlasting one, which is why these are needed, because people say to me, just use a lever, but sometimes you do have to turn a short pulse back into a normal one, like you would with a lever, where you get a constant output. So to do this, you take a normal monostable circuit, like this one, and then you add a piston and a block, and then this setup over here as well. And what this does is when a monostable circuit is activated, it activates this piston for a short amount of time, which pushes this block out, but retracts so quickly that it doesn't take the block with it, which means this block is stuck on top of this torch, which means the torch keeps on powering the block forever, and the redstone repeater then takes an output and therefore powers your circuit until you activate the circuit all over again. As you can see here, the piston was activated but retracted so quickly it didn't take the block with it, and is now giving out a constant output, but whenever I hit it again, there is no output. Now this circuit is just a different version of that circuit, and what happens is when you activate this monostable circuit, this is activated first, this piston is activated, and then this piston is activated a tick later, which brings the cauldron all the way from over here on the end of this piston back down here, which activates this redstone comparator and gives an output. Now, something interesting about redstone comparators, they give outputs from lots of different things, and one of them is cauldrons filled with water, which you might not have expected. But if I activate the circuit again, just like the other one, you won't get an output, and if I do it again, you'll get an everlasting one. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope it was very informative and entertaining too. Now, one thing I'd like to say before I finish this video is that even though I've shown you all these bits of redstone circuits and contraptions already, the best thing to do in Minecraft is if you don't fully understand it at the same time, but you partially do, then just mess around. Like with this circuit, like as you can see, it doesn't work, but you could always just take the redstone apart and just restart. And you could try out different things, because sometimes trial and error in Minecraft is the best way how to learn redstone. And I might then put blocks here this time, put some redstone on top, and mess around, see if it works, and it does. And so, if you don't quite get some of these circuits, or you want to learn it for yourself as well, if you don't fully understand it now, is to build them yourself and sort of mess around with what they can do, as it'll probably help your redstone knowledge. But I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did like the video, then please leave a like, and if you really enjoyed the content, then please subscribe, as I'm aiming for that first subscriber goal of 25. And that's all I got time for right now. I'll see you guys very, very soon.